Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing a gameplay showcase of the Xentari car, which is the current tier 1 car in the Rocket League pass, which was only ending in a few days. I think a week if I remember correctly. But I've been delaying this video for too long. I've had it for a while. I've got all the decals for it. I just need to do this video. So let's get right into it. So the Xentari fits into the Whiplash slot and is at the bottom of the car list, for me at least. And in my opinion, it is a very nice car. It reminds me of the Scorpion from the Chapter 5 Season 1 Battle Pass. If any of you have that, you can definitely see the similarities here, especially in the photo. So I don't think this car came with any wheels this season, which sucks, but it did come with 4 default decals when you get it, obviously. But if you leveled up your Rocket League pass enough, you would get these 2 special decals. So I'm just going to put some basic wheels on first. I'm going to go with the Nissan Fairlady wheels for now. And I'm going to scroll through these decals one by one so they're all done, and then I'll go into a match to show you in game. So first is the Carrion colorway decal. This is the last decal that you get. Description says Visceral style Xentari custom decal. It has these purple, red and yellow stripes with this grey and blue fade. It says Carrion and 1 on each side with an X on the roof, which is pretty cool. It says Fast Track on the back. Now, in my opinion, from using this car in game, it sounds very nice. It looks very nice as well. My only grudge with this car is probably the tail lights. That's probably the only thing I would change. I'd probably have the black part that the tail lights are in be like a light bar. That's probably the only thing I'd change. Also has some stripes on it. It says dirt on the side. Yep, it says dirt on each side too. And the purple, red and yellow stripes kind of like loop around to the front and back, or they get separated at just before the rear wheel. Onto the next decal, the Corvidae Hubris. Description says, don't hold back, Xentari custom decal. It has the 777 on the front and the sides, and I think on the roof. No, not on the roof. It has it on the bumper, something I can't read because it's too small. Also says Corvidae on the front and sides, as well as the roof. And it has the Hubris logo on the roof, that's what's on the roof. Also has these white stripes on the bottom of it and on the sides and the bonnet, and a little bit on the roof. It's a very nice faded cyan as well. Goes quite well with these Nissan wheels. Onto the default decals now, which is the decals I mean that you get as soon as you unlock the car. So you don't have to level up your Rocket League pass further than tier 1 to get these decals. Starting with the Flames decal. Actually, let me put it to white for a second. So this is a fairly basic decal. It only covers the front, nothing on the back or really the sides. It's kind of like this hot rod flame effect. Covers the bonnet. And I guess a little bit on the sides, but not fully on the sides. So nothing on the roof, nothing on the rear, nothing on the spoiler. So it's a pretty good Flames decal in general. Matches the car quite nicely. Onto the next default decal, which is the lightning decal. Set it to white so you can see it. So this decal covers the sides, the panel on the door. Doesn't cover the rear, and it covers the bonnet quite a bit. Although I'm not a huge fan of the bonnet. I think they could have done better with the shaping on the front. But overall, fairly decent decal. Onto the next one, which is stripes. Now again, this is a fairly basic stripes decal. It just goes from all the way to the rear, all the way to the front. Even goes down to the rear bumper. But even though it's a basic decal, it is still quite a decent one. Some of the stripes decals that the devs have released haven't been so good. So this is quite nice. Doesn't go onto the sides, which kind of sucks. But it does give off this Mustang feel. Pretty good decal. Now onto the final decal, which is the wings decal. Now, they've done the version of the wings decal that I prefer, which is the angled version, not the like organic version of the wings decal. It gives like, weirdly, it gives like a stripe on either side of the rear bumper. But it covers the sides, mostly. It doesn't cover the bonnet, doesn't cover the roof. But overall, it's a very, very nice rendition of the wings decal. It matches the car very, very nicely. So I'm going to head into a game now, so I can give you the gameplay showcase. I will see you in a minute. Alright, so I'm on the Tabor Hill map as usual. And I'm at all these whiplashes, so I can show you it in game. First, I'm gonna start it up, so you can hear how the startup sounds. See once that effect goes. I've also decided to put it in light blue, so it matches with the wheels. So it has like this, I guess, I don't know how to explain it. So it has like a little poppy sound when you start it up. That's likely from these fat exhausts on the rear. But when it stops playing the startup sound, it goes quite quiet, as you can hear. See, it goes quiet. But before I start explaining the details of the car, I'm gonna do the driving sounds. So here we go. So as you heard there, this car sounds quite nice in my opinion. It sounds very, very good. You can hear that. Also has like this clicking sound when you drive slowly before it starts properly revving up. But driving around just like that, me moving the camera around, as you can see, it's a very, very well-shaped car. It's also quite closely shaped to the Whiplash, although a little bit bigger. As you can see, it's slightly bit taller, or maybe slightly narrower. Yeah, so it's slightly narrower than a Whiplash, but also slightly taller compared to Axo right here. I'd say it's a few inches shorter than his head. Unlike the Fennec, which if you guys saw that video, I was using Jonesy, and it was as tall as him. And one thing I'd like to point out is that these wing mirrors here are on the front wheel arches compared to here where my crosshair is, where they normally are on more modern cars these days. Not many cars have these older, more aerodynamic, bullet-shaped wing mirrors. Although it would be really cool if they actually functioned. Now the interior here, I'm definitely sure they've been reusing the same interior, just reshaping it for all the Rocket League cars, which just sucks. I really wish they'd give each car its own interior, because some interiors just aren't for certain cars. Like, you wouldn't imagine an off-roader to have the interior of a supercar, for example. It also has the same engine cover as the Whiplash. I'm pretty sure it's rear-engined at least. Or at least it should be because of the booster on the back. Although this fat radiator on the front does kind of hint at an engine being under there. Same with the scoop on the bonnet. My best guess is that it has an engine in the front and an engine in the back separate for the booster, which is pretty cool. But as you also saw while I was driving around, using the boost, it does shoot out flames from these exhausts, which are a quite nice addition. But the only thing I would change about this car is the tail lights. I'm not a huge fan of it having these tail lights similar to the Nissan Skyline. If you guys have seen that, which you likely have. Since this car is quite similar to what I'd say is like a Mustang, if it had tail lights similar to that, it would be a lot better in my opinion. So if this black part was just red as a tail light bar, for example, that would be much better. But onto the decals, so you can see them in game. Okay, so I'm going to go through the decals in the same order as I did earlier in the locker. Here we go. So this is the Carrion decal. Quite nice. Again, the same light blue as I chose a minute ago. Although with this greyish white on the front. See there it has the X logo on the top. Purple, red and yellow stripe all the way around. These stripes saying dirt, carrion, and the 1 on each side. And this logo with the red dot here. I keep seeing that, but I have no idea what it's from. What's this says? Gauze on the side by this, what I think is an exhaust, which is quite strange. Only says fast track on the back, which is quite usual. It's pretty normal. Overall, a very good decal. Also says winner's choice by each of the headlights, which is quite good. It's like a racing track decal. But on to the next decal. So this is the Corvidae decal. Probably one of my favorites. It doesn't show it in the locker, but this part is actually chrome. Like the silver bit. It's quite chromy, very metallic. maybe a little bit less metallic than the main body paint, but also more metallic than the white stripes. So it has the Hubris logo, like I said earlier, on the roof, as well as Corvidae. It says Corvidae on the front and the sides too. It says this 3 dots and a triangle logo there, 777 on the bumper. And I still can't read what it says there because of the resolution. The only letters I can make out is M and D, which I don't really understand what that would mean. This decal also makes the spoiler, or at least the top part of it, silver too. And again, you have to level up your Rocket League pass to get both of these decals. The Carrion decal is the last decal you get. You get the Corvidae decal first. So if you haven't gotten these decals, make sure you get them very soon, because the Rocket League pass is ending in just a few days. But onto the default decals, which you get when you unlock the car. So again, going in order of the decals as I did, showcasing them in the locker. This is the Flames decal. Again, very, very nice. Okay, it's the same half metallic feature as the paint. Oh, and one other thing, one of you guys pointed out in the comments in another video that I showcased the car is to show how it you view when trying to aim out the passenger window, which is exactly why I ask you to give some feedback in the comments, because stuff like that is very, very useful. I never would have thought to do that myself. So thank you to whoever said that. Unfortunately, I can't remember your name. But I will, once I've finished recording this video, I will find you and leave a thanks in the description. So it looks like I need a gun to aim out the window, because it's not letting me. So I will do that once I finish showcasing the decals. Which, back to the decals, onto the next. So this is the lightning decal. Again, not my favorite for this car, although the lightning on the door is quite nice. It's just, I don't really like it on the front too much. I think it's quite bulky in my opinion. I like how it curves around the top of the wheel arch, but on the bonnet it is quite bulky in my opinion. Another thing I've just realized is a lot of these decals that cover the front, like the flames, lightning, and I think the feathers decal, wings I mean, it also makes this front splitter white too, or at least the color of the decal. But I know that stripes doesn't, because the stripes decal doesn't cover the entire front of the car. Which, speaking of stripes, onto the stripes. So here's the stripes decal. Very nice, very nice. A very good rendition of the stripes decal, like I said earlier. Goes all the way from the front down to the rear bumper. And like I said a second ago, it's the only, I think it's the only decal that doesn't make the front splitter the same color as the decal. Also, this side part where it's blue here, I think a lot of these default decals make it the same color as the decal too, which is a nice little detail. Very cool version of the stripes, goes fully wrapped around the spoiler. Very cool. Now onto the, I think the final decal, which should be the wings decal. Let's go. So this is the final decal out of the 6. Let's go wings decal. Again, this is the better version of the wings decal, in my opinion, where it's the angled version instead of the feathery version. I think the angled version definitely suits this car way better than the feathered version. Although I do say that a lot about most cars, really. But this wings version does look very nice. It almost touches the it almost touches the rear of the door, and it loops around for some reason onto each side of the rear bumper. And it doesn't change the color of this exhaust cover either, but it does change the color of the front splitter. Very good decal in my opinion. Like how it goes down here to go along the same line of the body panel, like at the same angle instead of just going straight on. Very nice little detail. Makes it look a bit more sleek in my opinion. So I've got a scar and a pump shotgun here. I'm hoping it will let me aim down sights through the passenger window. Again, thank you to whoever said that in the comments. I greatly appreciate it. So let's see if it will let me. Ah, yes. Hell yeah. So if you have a gun, it will let me aim out of a window. So for that who were wondering what this car looks like while aiming down sights, it's not so bad. Aiming down the front, you shoot out the front. Car doesn't block it at all. In fact, the car, if you're like aiming at this angle or like aiming up, even like aiming down somewhere, the car doesn't really get in the way. But if you're like aiming to the rear, it does kind of clip onto the car. But I'd say this car is quite decently shaped enough so that you can get a very good, versatile range of aiming. I'll aim down with the shotgun. Same thing, doesn't really... Unfortunately you can shoot the tires. You can't shoot the back ones because the extenders cover it, but if you're not careful, you can shoot out the front right wheel, which is quite unfortunate. But that's going to be all for today's video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, it is incredibly important if you leave some feedback in the comments. So if you have any feedback at all, even if you think it's a little bit of feedback, let me know. Love to know how I could improve these videos for you guys to watch. And I'm definitely willing to listen to your suggestions, like I have just demonstrated the aim down sights out of the window. If you liked the video, give a like. And if you really like the video, subscribe so you can have more of them. Or don't, it doesn't really bother me. But it would help me out quite a bit. I also have a plenty load of other videos similar to this one, showcasing skins and cars, both in shop and in game. But if you didn't like the video, again, let me know. I'd love to know how I could improve these videos. Shout out to my partner DUBBY. If you need any energy drinks or a new cup, go to them and use my promo code PROTOBEE, that's PROTOBEE in all caps, to get 10% off your order. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.